All right. Well, it's been a while since our last video. It's been impossible to keep up with the speed and fluidity of the Drumpf clan crises, the developing stories about Drumpf's illegal activity throughout the campaign cycle before the election that was hacked, influenced, and manipulated by our enemy, Putin and Russia. This warranted a new video. It's been a while since we've done one. We've been enjoying ourselves, trying not to immerse ourselves in the horrific, unwinding tale of Drumpf and its despicable anti-American clan, the GOP. Drumpf's ride through America's China shop with Putin and a baseball bat is over. Now Drumpf's best people idiocy, has been proven to be total and absolute bullshit. Let's just take a look. Drumpf's national security advisor, Mike Felon, only lasted about a month and has pled guilty and is now cooperating with FBI Special Counsel Bob Mueller. Drumpf's campaign manager, Paul Manafort, has been found guilty by a jury unrelated to the alleged witch hunt, unrelated to Bob Mueller. Just 12 Americans who decided his fate faithfully in a court of law. The outcome, he has been found guilty of 8 criminal felony charges for which he will serve a maximum of a decade each, resulting in a total sentence, prison sentence, lock him up, for 80 years. That's the outcome of the Paul Manafort case. Guilty as charged and staying in prison for the rest of its life. And it faces a second trial. This one was in Virginia. He'll be tried criminally again in September in Washington. So look for that on your radar. That'll be coming up soon. Number 3, Drumpf's personal attorney, longtime attorney, Cohen, the criminal commie-aiding clown, pleaded guilty today and implicated Drumpf as the director of a criminal conspiracy that had the intention to affect and, in his own words, influence the outcome of an election, a U.S. election. Additionally, Cohen contradicted Drumpf's lie on Air Trash One about not knowing about the measly $130,000 payoff to Miss Stormy Daniels.
Did you know about the $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels? Then why did Michael Cohen make it if there was no truth or allegation?
Well, you have to ask Michael Cohen. Michael's my attorney, and you'll have to ask Michael.
Do you know where he got the money to make that payment?
No, I don't know.
Did you ever set up a private money to pay for?
And Crooked Cohen, Drumpf's main attorney and fixer, stated that Drumpf knew about the illegally obtained, criminally hacked emails stolen by our enemy Putin and Russia. Those emails were the basis of months and months of chatter, GOP chatter about nothing. If you actually read the emails, we tried to read many of them, they were absolute nonsense. They didn't pertain to anything that involved national security, and the few that did were completely harmless. Nowhere near the kind of error in judgment that it took for Trump to splay out national security secrets about North Korea at that dump timeshare, Mar-a-Lago, where he did just splayed them out on the table so that the passersby in the background were just taking videos and photos of them and posting them all over social media. That was the result of Trump. In addition, Trump also invited our enemies, Putin's lackeys, into the White Trash House, into the Oval Orifice, and gave them Israeli secret intelligence that's classified. So now, allegedly, U.S. national security intelligence agencies are actually withholding sensitive intelligence information from Trump out of the fear that it might leak it, as it has done so many times in the past. So Trump knew about the hacked, criminally obtained emails long before it was publicly known. And even before Trump's clan, his top people, met with Russians in Trump Dump, in the Trump Tower. Trump knew all about criminally obtained information on a U.S. citizen and did nothing about it. In fact, its intention was to use that for its own benefit, illegally, in an election. Pretty significant. This guy's a career felon, and now we're just getting little bits of it that are finally floating to the surface from the depths where they've been kept. Basically, Trump was completely transparent when it said on the stage, "Russia, if you're listening, help me commit treason against my country, the United States of America." And so he did. Trump is now an official, unindicted co-conspirator in a felony crime that involved the election. In one day, 2 felony convictions fell, with 2 of Trump's top hires, his best people. Bob Mueller is brilliant. Crooked Cohen has just pleaded guilty in a state court to state crimes that are federally related. This is out of reach of Trump's powers to pardon. On top of Cohen contradicting Trump too about the Stormy Daniels payment, which is clear as day now. There are records of it. There's no way to discount it any longer. So Trump's Air Trash One lie, which we've featured in the video here just to demonstrate what an asshole, fraud, and liar Trump is, it'll just keep ringing out against the enormous amount of lies and contradictions that free themselves from Trump's ass, which is his mouth. Same thing. In addition to Crooked Cohen, the criminal clown, implicating Trump not only in the election fraud and crimes, but contradicting him on the Stormy Daniels measly $100,000 payment, the hush money. Cohen stated that Trump knew about the payment. Unfortunately for Trump, idiot Rudy Giuliani, the dancing clown, undermined Trader Trump as well on the record, saying that Trump knew about the payments to Stormy Daniels and that Trump made those payments, funneled them through a law firm. That law firm and that fraud front company that was established, that was connected to Michael Cohen.
Truth isn't truth.
I did know about the general arrangement that Michael would take care of things like this.
Truth isn't truth.
So this is all going to come out. Every single bit of it, including all the criminal conspiracy connected to Russia, our enemy. All of that will come out eventually. There is no way for dirty, unelected, treasonous piece of shit Trump to escape it. It's inevitable. It's coming. Just wait for it. We waited for Nixon. This country waited and waited after all of his protests, all his bullshit. Nixon eventually had to leave. under the weight of his own lies. He repeatedly used the phrase witch hunt, as Drumpf does. And look what happened there. Didn't end too well for that criminal Nixon, another Republican, of course. Now Drumpf may be criminally indicted in a state court, and SCOTUS will have zero to say in the prosecution. Why? States' rights, something the Republican cult has been arguing for forever. So now those have boomeranged too. If states have rights, they have the right judicially to try traitors, people who have affected the outcome in the election, criminals who have conspired to affect the outcome of elections, whether they were successful or not, whether they acted on it or not. Just planning it is a conspiracy. But there's much more here than meets the eye. And FBI special counsel Robert Mueller has all of those little nuggets. We are barely seeing the surface of an iceberg here. But if you watch as it develops, Drumpf is history. He wasn't elected. Drumpf is not an elected official. He is an illegitimate, unelected U.S. traitor who will ultimately be leaving office well before the time where it would end its undue occupation. That's just a fact. It will not survive the enormous amount of crimes that it's committed. Bottom line, which is always true of six-time bankruptcy filing penniless bum Drumpf, whatever Drumpf touches turns to shit. Everything Drumpf touches turns to shit. Every single time. This is no exception. It'll happen. All you have to do is wait. And we're watching it now. Drumpf's touched it. It's turned brown. Now you can smell the stench of Drumpf on it. And it'll get worse. This erratic idiot Drumpf is going to go crazy as its time narrows. As the walls close in, Drumpf knows that it is cornered now. And it also knows that the room is closing in fast. Its behavior will become more erratic. Its behavior will become more hostile, more paranoid, more guarded, and more defensive. But rest assured, Robert Mueller, a Marine who served in Vietnam while Drumpf was skirting the draft and Vietnam service with his heel spur, his little bone spur in his heel. Mueller, will get to the bottom of all of it. All of it. Every single thing, and we will all hear those details. As horrible as they are. Bye-bye, Drumpf. You despicable, sexist, racist, fraud, and penniless bum and U.S. traitor. Drumpf needs to pack up its bags for prison. It is over.
I think the president has to be treated like everyone else. Because I think under the criminal law, everybody should be treated the same.
And lying is
crime. And I know there are people that would say the president should be treated stricter. And we used to have an era in which the president was treated much more leniently. But I think the right answer is the president should be treated, as far as the criminal law is concerned, the president's a citizen.
This game is over. Drumpf's little play, his power play to try and satisfy our U.S. enemy, Vladimir Putin and Russia, has backfired. The results have been horrible. The one question that remains is when on earth will the GOP cult come around and act patriotically in loyalty and regard for the United States of America, instead of protecting their minority ideology, which has been fading, and they are trying to revive in the face of the majority. The majority won't tolerate it, just like we haven't tolerated Trump. We didn't even have to do anything to remove him. Trump will remove itself, no matter which way it ends up, whether it resigns or whether it's carted off. It will end badly for Trump and especially the GOP and the creepy idiot maggots who have followed it. Maggots, the MAGAs, which are maggots, have feasted on America long enough. It's time to put those parasites back in the gutter where they belong. America will come back and be great. Right now, we have to endure an unpleasant stench, but that unpleasant stench will be hosed off shortly, in November, with a blue wave. Bye, Trump. Get ready for a blue-nami. November.